It's very important that the marriage is sustained. Sometimes people think, well, the marriage is sustained by the love and the affection and the attraction and the mutual satisfaction that two people have. Well, yes, but there's another sense in which the love is more sustained by the marriage than the marriage is sustained by the love. There are times in which is one reason we call marriage a sacrament. Why marriage is a sacrament, a means of grace, an instrument of God's gracious support and strengthening in our lives. Marriage is not, just a contract. It's not just striking a deal between two people who, gee, I think it'll enhance my life and it'll be mutually enhancing if we get married, wouldn't it? It'd be a good deal. Well, those considerations enter in. But before it's a contract, it's a covenant. It's a covenantal relationship, like the relationship that God enters into with the children of Israel and Christ has with his church, his body, the church. Marriage sustains love. There are times in which, in any marriage, it's hard to tell young people when they're madly in love, that there are going to be times in which they'll just be putting up with each other, and they'll just pray for the grace to put up with each other. God willing, those won't be most of the times, but there will be such times. And there'll be time. Remember a few years ago there was this thing floating about, you heard it everywhere, love is never having to say you're sorry. Well, this is about the dumbest thing that has ever been spoken by human tongue, okay? Love is, of course, being able to say you're sorry and knowing that you need to say you're sorry again and again, and being able to forgive. As we pray in the Our Father, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And we can forgive because we forgive with the forgiveness with which we are forgiven, and we love with the love with which we are loved. So that, it's all, the approach, so common among young people, you're quite right, that they want to get all their ducks in place and, see a clear path ahead and cover this contingency and that contingency, is just so alien to the adventure of faith that is love and marriage. Love and marriage is, as with anything that is truly challenging, a journey of courage above all, of a faith-based courage. And in our culture you have these terrible, terrible things, these prenuptial agreements, which are very common today, unfortunately, and not simply among the super rich and the famous. And here are the conditions under which I will continue to be married to you. And if this marriage ends, here then is what you get and I get, and etc. This is dare I use this is blasphemy. From a Catholic perspective, this is a blasphemy against the sacrament of marriage, which is a grace-filled adventure of trust, and simply not a blind leap of faith by any means. Faith is not blind. It's with eyes wide open, recognizing all the things that can happen, of course, but determined to live a life that's premised upon courage rather than fear, upon faith rather than a false and pernicious notion that we can control all the circumstances of our lives. We can't.